It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
In the criminal justice system, sexually-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Okay, story time. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I left the congregation officially when I turned 18 years old, when I moved out of my mother's house and moved away to college. We were very involved in our congregation. Like, yes, I was out knocking on doors every Saturday, Sunday morning, after school. It was, yeah, all those things. Addressing the birthday topics, Jehovah's Witnesses do not celebrate their birthdays. They think it is pagan. I think that it's pagan. I'm not going to sit here and bash any witnesses. I still have a lot of family members that are active Jehovah's Witnesses and still very active in their congregation. They're probably going to see this. I'll probably get called an apostate, but whatever. So yeah, in typical like American birthday traditions, there are a lot of practices that are rooted in paganism, and that's just kind of a fact. Of anything that has pagan roots, they have separated themselves completely as to not feel like practitioners of paganism, and they don't see it more so as a cultural aspect. They still see it as a worship of a separate deity that is not God. Whether the organization is a cult or not, that depends on how you define a cult. For Jehovah's Witnesses, there's no birthdays, there's no Christmas, there's no having friends that are outside of the congregation, even family members. If somebody's disfellowship, there's no involving them in your life whatsoever. Like, literally go no eye contact if you can. My father was disfellowship since before I was born, so that always added a level of difficulty when I was in the congregation too. My parents split up because of it. It was just a lot. Up. Around 9th grade, I really told my mom, like, hey, after I leave your house, I am not going to be practicing this anymore, and it caused a huge rift in our relationship at the time. Her and I have healed that since then, and she is still heavily practicing, but I already knew it wasn't going to be my long-term life decisions. It was just too much from what I already experienced from the sexism and the pedophilia in the congregation. Like, it's crazy. Literally had grown men, like, matter of fact, if this reaches a certain audience, y'all know Mr. Bernard needs to be in jail, under the jail. There's no reason it is common for all these grown men to be walking up to underage girls who they know are under a certain like religious kind of naivete and pressing them out and seeing if they're with it. They are, and they know these little girls don't know any better, and it's insane. Like, why are you coming up to me from the age of like 10 plus asking me when do I turn 18? Wild. I'm serious. A grown man, like, in front of the congregation, outside of the congregation, it's crazy. Bernard prison. And it's not just him. It's so many individuals in our congregation where it is like normalized for a lot of older men to be pursuing younger girls, and it's very normalized for young marriages. JW, the teen pregnancy pipeline, is crazy. Part of it myself. Trigger warning for this next part. My last straw where I knew like I'm leaving and I'm never going back and I will go down fighting if I have to was when I was 16 years old and I was raped by my best friend's older brother. I was just so terrified to even tell my mom because we were in this congregation, and I just knew the shame it was going to bring to our family. I just knew it was going to get out, and I was embarrassed when it wasn't even my fault. I told my mom about 2 weeks later, and just because of the structure of the congregation, it was her obligation to go to the elders. I asked her not to, but that's just what the deal was, and she thought she was helping me, and I don't hold any animosity towards her for doing that. The elders came and sat me down and told me that my rape was my fault because I had friends that were non-Jehovah's Witnesses, and they read me the story of Dinah. If you're not familiar with the story of Dinah, Dinah was I can't remember what tribe she was. I'll have to go look back. I avoid the story obviously, but young girl in the Bible. She went out to the city where she wasn't supposed to be hanging around. She was running the streets being a little hot girl and hanging with girls she wasn't supposed to, and she ended up being sexually assaulted. Her brothers came back and killed the guy who sexually assaulted her whole family. A lot of beef, a lot of things going wrong, and ultimately came down that it was Dinah's fault. They read me that story and let me know that it was also my fault. And then they also came to me and let me know that I was dressing too provocatively and that I was drawing attention to myself because I had started developing early and was very curvy at a young age, and that I needed to stop bringing that attention from older men and from the younger boys in the congregation if I didn't want that to happen to me again. And again, it was my fault and my body's fault. I'll attach some pictures to show you kind of the outfits that I was wearing. You can judge for yourself if you think they're risque, but very much above the neck, below the knee, that type of vibe. And after that, I knew this wasn't a place for me. I don't support any organization that acts as an instrument of God's wrath and retribution over an instrument of God's love. And that's just where I'm at, and so that wasn't a congregation or religious sector for me. Part 2, I'm tagging this comment just because I thought it was hilarious. I'm not gonna hold you. I had no idea Marcus Houston and like his family were even raised Jehovah's Witness, so this was just a shock to me and not a funny topic. I just didn't expect it to be a part of the conversation. In my last video, I mentioned that to my knowledge, my mom was the one who had disclosed to the elders that I had been SA'd. She did not, my stepfather did. I'm cropping out my mom, but this man is to blame. This is my ex-stepdad, and actually my mom and I just had a follow-up conversation today about him. I don't have a problem showing his face because one, he showed all my business, and he's dead now. And I disliked him in life and death. Rest in peace, Lou. I punched his daughter in the face over his dead body, and I stand on that. Want a story time? But yes, the videos have reached my family, they have reached some congregations, and yes, I've been getting some feedback. Oh, honestly, I'll get into more how these conversations are going tomorrow, but it's just late right now. I'm already in bed, as you can see. But there's a lot of people who are sharing their stories that they went through something similar or had similar experiences in their congregation. One, I'm so sorry if you have had a similar experience. And if you're watching this, I just hope you don't have any shame in your testimony and you're open to sharing it too. Here's Lewis just as Jesus, since he thought he was so holier than thou. I'm about to do my skincare routine, so I thought I'd reply to some more questions. A short answer is no, my mom does not or did not agree with them. To explain more, at the time my mom and I did not have any follow-up conversations about it. Ignore my pimple patch, please. And for a long time, I just wasn't in a place to talk about it anymore. But in the past week, my mom and I did have some follow-up conversations, and she actually reached out to the elders. One of the elders in particular did ask to apologize to me. It's been over a decade, and I did a lot of healing without their apologies to necessarily need it now. To answer, do I have any other religion? I still consider myself a Christian. I attend church happily and regularly. My husband and I actually got baptized together in 2023. I teach Sunday school now, and God is still the most important thing in my life.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back at the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to everybody who tunes in to the lives every day. So we're getting lit. All right, man, let me talk about this, man. I was just thinking, like, I've never heard one good video or good thing, not video, because I've never heard one good thing from children raised up as Jehovah's Witnesses. I had some friends that were Jehovah's Witnesses growing up, and obviously they not no more. But not only that, I think a lot of parents force their kids into Jehovah's Witnesses, especially back in when I was younger. I don't see it too much now, but I know there's still people that are, and I think it's you know people that get so caught up in religion that not that nothing else matters, but kind of that nothing else matters. Like, you can believe in God and Jesus, and you can, like, I pray every day and not be this type of person. But I think, like, mentally something is wrong with these people. And those are the people that convert over to things like Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm not saying anything bad about Israelites, but you can compare the two on the level of, like, things that you have to give up in order for you to be loved by God, or for God to bless you, or stuff like that. But the only thing is, I see a lot of leadership come out of Israelites versus coming out of Jehovah's Witnesses. I think these are two different things. Like, Israelites is the newer way of the Jehovah's Witness. And I think there's less traumatization within the organization. So will Jehovah's Witness go away? Probably so, and convert over to what is now being called an Israelite. But I don't want to say the two are the same, because I don't know, but I know the values are the same. But when she talk about people that used to be raped, I know this because I had friends, like I said, even in our neighborhood, we would see them at school, and of course the women wore long dresses, the girls wore long dresses. As soon as we hit the block, we never saw them again. Like, they go down their street and we wouldn't see them all weekend. We wouldn't see them through the summertime, never. So, and we walk down that street all the time. The windows are always closed. Nobody's ever outside playing, and we was outside. So to never see them outside was crazy. The boy, when he got older, I know he left the house and started gang banging, and I'm pretty sure he was probably kicked out of his house and all type of stuff. Cause by the time we was in high school, like, he wasn't around no more. He wasn't at school no more. I seen the change in him. Like, he would go to school and be banged out and wouldn't go straight home. We lived in a high gang area, and I just seen him go from carrying Bible books to orange flags. But his sister used to be traumatized all through high school because the sister was older. The brother was younger. The sister used to, I don't know, and she played softball, which I guess they didn't like. But they was there every softball game. In their they was dressed up, suit and tie, in the heat, because it was still hot outside. And as soon as baseball's over, get in the car, gone. Don't play with the team. Don't. We was there. We saw the softball team because I played baseball, so I would always see. That's why I would see the softball team. We always supported them. They supported us, type deal. And then, yeah. I know another girl who got out of Jehovah's. Her mom left her husband. They got out of Jehovah's Witness, or did they? I don't know. Yeah, but I know. Yeah, the other girl, she left her mom left her dad, and they got out of being Jehovah's Witness. So I seen the change in her. Like, you could see it all through the like all through the east side. Different people who was raised Jehovah's Witness, and it used to be. We had some long running jokes about our friends who were Jehovah's Witnesses, but when you see them, coming to your house early Saturday morning, yeah, we used to see our friends coming with their parents and with people in their congregation through the neighborhood early Saturday morning to try to invite you to the Jehovah's Witness church. I know where you see it. I know where this church is. I can picture it in my mind. I just don't know what street it's on. But I always wonder. I was like, I wonder what it's like to go in that church. But then when I started getting older and seeing my friend, I was like, nah, I wouldn't want to be one of them. I mean, I like God and I like Jesus, but I don't think I'm that religious. It is what it is. But and I don't want to make people. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, I'm not trying to make y'all look bad. I seen some unpleasant stuff like that, and that's just my experience. And we was Christians, but there was also stuff at Christian churches that I didn't like. I remember, man, yo, I remember this girl at this Christian church being accused of sleeping with, I think it was he wasn't a pastor, but he was like something. And then her dad, dude was heartbroken. Dude was heartbroken that somebody could, as a Christian, could do that. And because he was one of them Christian folks that was like all about God, and she wouldn't. Ooh, that Jezebel had some thing on him. But man, yeah, I seen a bunch of stuff. Like you see a bunch of stuff in church, having sex at church as like teens, going to the teen church, meeting a girl and having sex with them. All that as young kids. That pretty much that's all it was. You can meet, and then you see the girls on Sunday, and everybody all dressed nice in their stockings and heels, and we got on our ties, and you know what I'm saying, and we was just freaking and geeking on Wednesday when the parents is not around. So yeah, all that I seen all that. Be on the church camp trip, sneaking off. Yeah, so it's in every religion, everything ain't perfect, but from your experience, you could tell from your experience what is what, and that is what I seen. And there you have it, everyday people. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.